what you call all of this help. Our entire discussion today has been in wanting to help you to feel that place where you stand. One day Esther was feeling particular appreciation for some things that Jerry had set into motion. And so she started with a feeling of appreciation for this and that and this and that. And then the momentum of that appreciation grew until she began feeling appreciation for everyone who had ever lived and all that they had added to where she was now standing. She began appreciating commerce and technology and industry and economy. In other words, she was on a true rampage of appreciation. But the most important thing that happened to her is that she felt herself standing at the point of this vortex of well-being as the receiver of all of that. And she didn't feel alone. She felt the reason for everything that had ever existed. You're not looking for someone to validate you. Your existence is validation enough. The fact that you exist, the fact that you are here is this extension of source energy. But no one else can validate you. No one else. We can hold you as our object of attention from our complete alignment, and that does not mean that you are going to receive it. And that loneliness that you feel, that feeling that you need or want someone to talk to, is the evidence that you are not allowing yourself to be the receiver of so much that is flowing to you. This is the piece that we really want you to hear. Because you are so focused upon is the reason that sometimes you feel alone. Now we'll clarify that. If no one had you in their sights of awareness, you wouldn't feel loneliness when you don't let it in. Can you hear that? So the very evidence of your loneliness is the indication of so much attention on you that you are not letting in that moment. And that human impulse to go to talk to somebody else who also feels lonely is wrong-headed, because now you just stand in a bigger, lonelier pile with more people, and the momentum of that just gets more and more and more until pretty soon you deprive yourself of more and more and more and more. You're demanding more, but you're depriving while you're demanding. You're depriving while you're efforting, you see. If you are monitoring manifestations and at that point making your statements of how you're doing, the momentum is already too far down the road and you have very little control. But when you start caring about the way you feel and you are caring about the emotions and you are deliberately taking something that feels a little good and focusing on it until it increases and becomes more, before you know it, and we're talking about days really, manifestations of things that you have been wanting for a very long time will begin being realized by you in your experience. And at those realization points, you're going to then say, well, I guess I've been getting this right. And so that's just the process. Try it a little. Try to feel for the feeling of fun just for a few days and watch what happens in your life. Try to feel for a feeling of appreciation just for a few days and watch what happens in your life. Show yourself how you have come closer to who you are with these general thoughts. You didn't trip over. Esther's been talking a lot about what she's tripping over. She said to at least 5 members of her staff, maybe not the mobile crew, but the home crew, I'm tired of tripping over that. Let's do something about that. I don't want to trip over that anymore. I don't want to trip over that anymore. Well, she didn't even realize she was saying, I don't want to trip over that, until she tripped over that. And now that she's tripped over that around the world, she tripped over that. It's got her attention. I'm going to stop saying I'm going to stop tripping over that. I'm not going to trip over that. Scotty said, oh, I'm really sorry about that. And Esther said, I create my own reality. Damn it. I create my own reality. Nobody's responsible for anything that happens to me. Everything that comes to me is as a result of what I've got going on vibrationally. Don't you love knowing that? And don't you love manifestations that explain to you what you've got going on vibrationally? Don't you love that? Mm-hmm. Would you really want it to be any other way? No. And don't you love knowing that it's all for you? Doesn't it feel good to be in that spotlight?
Yes.
Don't you like being in that spotlight where everything that is occurring in your experience is a reflection of what you're doing vibrationally, what you're doing emotionally, how you are tending to your own point of attraction? You're powerful. You're powerful. And the trajectory of your deservability is more powerful than Esther can even find words to explain to you. It's time for you to just chill out and have more fun and make it simpler, and don't bring with you all the stuff that you've picked up along your physical trail. Just stand in your now and reach for the best feeling thought that you can find here and now, and watch what begins to happen. The problem with this conversation is that you are all getting it, because you're right up to speed with where we are. But as you think about speaking these words to others who don't get it, it sort of strikes fear to your heart, because you can't get them to perceive what you perceive. Don't worry, everyone will when they make their transition, and all the new ones coming in are already feeling it. The balance of your planet is really, really wonderful. The beasts, the animals of your planet, they're all pure positive energy. The new ones coming in at really rapid rate right now are pure positive energy. Those who are making their transition are finding alignment with who they are, and those like you are finding it even while you are still here in your physical body, just leaving behind more and more resistance. So nothing's broken. We don't have to fix the world. The world is not broken. The world is working really, really well. The only thing that we're even having a conversation with you about this, because the only reason is because we want you to be joyful now. We want you to find a way to be joyful now.
Okay.
We want you to be who you are now. We want you to feel the fullness and the pleasure and the perfection of what's going on planet Earth right now. When a thought occurs to you, that thought is a manifestation, because it's gone from a vibration into something perceivable. And a thought is something you are perceiving. Do you agree? When a thought occurs to you, or a better way of saying that is when you translate a vibration into a thought, or a better way of saying that might be when you receive a thought. When you receive a thought, which means when you're in the vibrational vicinity of something enough that you can actualize a vibration into something meaningful like a thought, getting the sense of it, that's a manifestation, isn't it? It's worth thinking about that, because there are lots of manifestations that occur before you can see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it. But still it's manifesting. You can feel it. You can feel it in the emotional sense. Oh, emotions. Really important to recognize that emotions are manifestations, because the vibration is manifesting into something that you are realizing. Such an important word, because it's about your readiness to translate the vibration into a realism. You see what we are getting at? Sometimes you don't really see what we're getting at, but sometimes you want to see what we're getting at, but you'd rather just... Resistance is the only thing that slows momentum. Mm-hmm. So if you are aware of the way you're feeling, and the way to speed momentum is by reducing resistance, and the way to speed resistance is to become more specific. The way to slow resistance is to become more general. Mm-hmm. So you be general when you feel resistance. You become specific when you feel no resistance. You become general when you feel resistance. You become specific when you feel no resistance. Until soon you can feel yourself just moving this along. You get to decide how fast you go. Esther loves that. She loves having a vehicle that will go as fast as she dares go. In control. That was the physical exhilarating feeling about that Audi R8. And the words that she said when somebody said, "How is it?" She said, "I can put it anywhere I mean to put it, anytime I mean to put it there. If there's a little hole there, I can get in it." Mm-hmm. Right. I can get in it because it has the agility and it has the speed. It has everything it needs for me to put it where I mean to put it. The other day she was driving it, there was traffic, and she wanted to be way over there, and she thought, maybe not, because it would have needed to fly across the... She thought, my first limitation. But you get what we're talking about.
Yes.
It's the awareness of where you are and the realization of where your power is. Let's say it to you this way. The energy that creates worlds is the power. And it's all queued up, and it's at a very high frequency and speed, and it can accomplish anything.
Right.
So what you're talking about as a utilizer of this current or energy is effectively using it to the degree of your ability to receive it and direct it.
Yes, yes.
So it's not about the power itself, it's infinite. It's about your ability to focus it within the confines of your understood limitations. Ooh. And your limitations can become more understood by you if you are emotionally savvy, if you are emotionally aware.
Right.
So it really boils down to something as simple as, if it feels good, give it more attention. If it feels not good, give it less attention.
Absolutely.
And the less good it feels, the less attention you want to give it. So actually what we're talking about in this unconditional love, we're wanting you to guide yourself into attention to conditions that are wobble-free. In other words, it's about offering attention to something that allows the fullness of you to flow.
Right.
We've offered an analogy for a long time. If you're going 100 miles an hour and you hit a tree, it's a big problem. If you're going 5 miles an hour and you hit a tree, it's not such a big problem. So if there are trees that you haven't dealt with, slow down. Slow down. But once the trees are out of the way, then go have fun. It really is about that.
Yes.
So here's what has happened to you today. You have acknowledged that you are vibrational first and foremost, and that you live in a vibrational universe. And you've acknowledged that there was a vibrational trajectory within you before you even came into this body that still is there. That there's a trajectory of such powerful, forceful, pure, positive energy, love, and clarity, and worthiness. So here this trajectory is, and in every moment in time, you have the ability to align with it or not. It's your choice. And it's not wrong when you don't, because if you don't, you just launch more rockets of desire. You just get clearer and clearer and clearer about what you want. So you can't get it wrong. And you never get it done. And the reason you can't get it wrong is because you never get it done. So then you add to that knowledge the idea of law of attraction and the momentum that it causes. And then you couple with that your understanding about momentum, law of attraction, momentum. And then you think about the trajectory that you held before you were born and how good it feels to get on that path of love and how awful it feels to get on the path of hate. How good it feels to get on that path of self-appreciation and how awful it feels to get off that path of self-appreciation. So you couple your knowledge of the eternalness of your being with being born into an environment that is vibrational, that is being managed by law of attraction all the time, 100% of the time. You acknowledge that you are emitting a signal all the time and that your signal can be felt by you. You can feel the wobble or not. You can feel the alignment or the resistance. And you acknowledge that since you now know that your emotions are your indicator, you now know that you can align with the trajectory, not just that you were born with, but that you have added to every day of your life experience. It is not possible for someone who cares about the way they feel to not find and sustain your joyful path. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey. We felt the movement within you. The reset button has been pushed. You are in a different place than you've ever been, and every relationship that you have is forever altered because of the shift in vibration that has taken place here today. There's no homework. There's nothing that you need to do. There's no assignment. You cannot upset us no matter what you do, because we are wobble-free. We love you unconditionally. So don't do it for us. Find your alignment for the joy of the moment of alignment. And let that be the criteria by which you live your life. And then watch what happens in terms of the way you feel as you are moving forward. You are uplifters to the very core of your being. You came wanting others to understand how good life can be. But you can't give them what you're not predominantly living. So find it and then share it with everyone who law of attraction brings into your path. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain joyously in your vortex.